That morning, when Homer got up and washed his face, Lisa had nothing but guinea pigs on her mind. Meanwhile, Maggie was taking a shower. To everyone's surprise, the exact same guinea pig pattern appeared on the bathroom glass. When Homer arrived at his office, he discovered that guinea pig pictures were plastered everywhere. Even the printed patterns on Carl and Lenny's clothes kept reminding him about the same thing.
Emojis. No, she's gone too far.
Homer and Marge had no choice. They had to sit down and have a serious talk with Lisa. The couple came up with an agreement. Lisa would be fully responsible for feeding and taking care of all the pets in the house. But the most important rule in the agreement was something else. Homer added the key condition. If any pet accidentally became a famous star, all commercial profits and copyrights would belong to him. Lisa signed the agreement without hesitation. Not long after, the Simpson family arrived at a guinea pig adoption center. There were many abandoned guinea pigs waiting there. Each one had its own unique charm. Lisa was overwhelmed by the choices. She simply couldn't decide which one to pick. She struggled with the decision from day until night, but still couldn't make up her mind. The family had no choice but to find a nearby hotel and stay there for the night. Early the next morning, they returned to the adoption center and continued searching. Finally, Lisa picked a little guinea pig. Its name was Pochi. After bringing it home, Lisa prepared a natural little habitat for it. But just then, Bart noticed that Pochi had disappeared. The two siblings immediately started searching the entire house. Unexpectedly, the little guinea pig suddenly jumped out from behind them. Bart grabbed a tool and tried to catch it. Lisa was afraid Bart would hurt the guinea pig, so she immediately tackled him and pinned him to the ground. Taking advantage of the chaos, Pochi escaped again. It quickly squeezed into a crack in the wall. The next second, Pochi crawled out through a hole it made in the wall. It ended up destroying one of Maggie's favorite paintings. Maggie was heartbroken. It was a treasured artwork she had kept for a long time. With no other option, she could only go to the gallery and buy a replacement. Bob the actor first measured the exact size of his prison-made Walter's face. Then he injected him with a sedative. Without any effort, he peeled off Walter's entire face. Next, he cut off and removed his own face. He then stitched Walter's face onto his own. Before long, the face-swapping surgery was complete. Using Walter's identity, Bob was granted early parole and released from prison. He also took control of all of Walter's property. With that money, he rented the house next door to the Simpsons. He bought expensive furniture, carefully created a gentlemanly image, and tricked the Simpson family into trusting him. Bart was the first to walk over and say hello, but...
Yo, Bart Simpson. No doubt you read about me in your nuisance neighbor disclosure.
Hello, Bart.
Huh? Say that again.
Hello, Bart. Hello, Bart.
Hello, Bart.
Hello, Bart! Hello, Bart.
Hello, Bart.
Ah! Sideshow Bob!
Side what whom?
The more Bart listened, the more suspicious he became. He realized this man was actually Sideshow Bob. Terrified, Bart quickly nailed all the doors and windows shut, but Maggie refused to believe that he was really their old enemy, Bob. To completely confirm his true identity, Bart secretly sneaked into Bob's house and searched through everything, looking for suspicious evidence. Just then, Maggie suddenly appeared behind him. If they wanted to end this once and for all, there was only one option left. Maggie took Bart to the prison, with the guards leading the way. They inspected Bob's old cell. Neither of them knew that Bob and Walter had already switched identities. After checking the cell, they mistakenly thought their suspicion was wrong. Disappointed, they left the prison. That night, Walter, who was wearing Bob's face, pretended to swallow a crayon and collapsed. He used the opportunity to knock out the prison guard with an electric shock. Then he successfully escaped. Walter broke into the Simpsons' house. Homer and Maggie mistook him, with Bob's face, for the real criminal. They immediately rushed over to restrain him. They tied him up with a garden hose. It wasn't until Walter took off his shoes and revealed his normal feet that they realized they had caught the wrong person. Meanwhile, Bart had already been invited by Bob to watch a baseball game. On the way there, Bob stopped pretending. He took off his shoes, revealing his signature giant feet. With a smug smile, he admitted that he was the real Sideshow Bob.
I am Sideshow Bob.
At the same time, Homer and the others arrived at Bob's house. They discovered that the entire room was covered with pictures of Bart. Every single picture had been stabbed through with a knife. Lisa immediately figured it out. Bob planned to take Bart to the Four Corners, where 4 states meet. He intended to exploit the loopholes in interstate law and commit murder while avoiding legal responsibility. Lisa's analysis was completely correct. At that moment, Bob was already taking Bart toward the border area. They had arrived at the Four Corners. At the most critical moment, Walter arrived just in time. He charged forward, tackled Bob to the ground, took away his gun, and forced him to switch the faces back. But at the crucial moment, a bee crawled underneath Walter's skin. The situation suddenly turned around. Just as Bob was about to kill them both, the Springfield police arrived in time. It turned out that Bart had never trusted Bob from the beginning. Before leaving, he had secretly called the police. He made sure they tracked the vehicle the entire way. Bob arrogantly claimed that he was standing on interstate land, and Sheriff Clancy from Springfield had no authority there. But as soon as he finished speaking, police officers from the other 4 states arrived. They surrounded Bob from every direction. No matter which state line he crossed, he would still end up being arrested.
We're taking you in, but first we're gonna make a stop at the shore for some skee ball and funnel cakes.
Bart drew lines on the ground. He intentionally made every parking space smaller. As a result, none of the teachers could open their car doors. The entire parking lot instantly fell into chaos. The teachers had no proof that Bart was behind it, so they started deliberately calling on him more often in class just to mess with him. But Bart soon realized that he couldn't see the words on the blackboard clearly anymore. Martin eagerly raised his hand to answer questions.
Photosynthesis! Damn your feeble brain!
Oh, I couldn't read it. The letters are all blurry.
After school, Maggie took Bart to the hospital for a checkup. The doctor discovered that Bart had amblyopia. He was given corrective glasses. Then they found out that his scalp was a little dry. A dermatologist applied some medical cream for him. The examination also revealed that Bart had flat feet. His throat was inflamed as well. After returning to school, Bart's new look immediately became the target of everyone's jokes. He had no choice but to borrow Milhouse's glasses to see what he really looked like.
I'm a nerd. So am I.
Bart grabbed his skateboard, trying to prove that he was still the same old Bart, but the heavy corrective shoes made it impossible for him to keep his balance. Before long, he crashed straight into a bookshelf and got buried under falling books. The school bullies mistakenly thought Bart was actually studying hard. They walked over and beat him up. Bart used the chance to escape, but Martin suddenly pulled him into a locker. Martin took Bart to the nerd's secret hideout. He told Bart he could study there peacefully. Not long after, Maggie told Bart that all of his treatments were finished. Bart excitedly threw away his glasses and corrective shoes. Just as the bullies were about to teach Bart another lesson, Bart returned to his old self. Who could have seen this coming? After the news of Bart's death spread, the person who suffered the most was surprisingly Sideshow Bob. One day, Bart walked into the woods. There, he found a manhole cover. A warning on it read, "No jumping allowed," but that only made Bart even more curious. When Homer realized Bart was missing, he immediately called the police. The police and the townspeople launched a search for Bart. Even prisoners from the jail were brought in to help with the rescue, but Sideshow Bob had no intention of joining the search. Meanwhile, Bart woke up. He turned on all the lights and discovered he was inside a top-secret military base. After checking the surveillance footage, he learned that a massive missile was being stored there.
Key to a mighty line of them 200.
Dud. Ay, caramba.
Bart tried every possible way to escape. Just when he was about to climb out, the stairs suddenly collapsed. He fell hard back to the ground. During the search for Bart, Milhouse found Bart's hat back at the Simpson house.
Bart? Bart? Are you down there? Milhouse, I have never been so glad to see you. Thanks for not noticing my new haircut. Just give me your phone. I'll go get help. You can count on me.
Maggie was praying for Bart. The news was reporting updates on the search. The reporters suspected that Bart might already be dead. Maggie instantly burst into tears. Not long after, Milhouse arrived at the Simpson house. Lisa was heartbroken. She rushed over and hugged Milhouse tightly. Milhouse had actually come to tell everyone that Bart was still alive.
Came to tell her he's alive. But this feels almost as good as hugging Harry Horse.
But the prison guards ordered the search to stop. They publicly announced that Bart was dead. Sideshow Bob refused to accept the news.
No, that can't be. Lord, why do you kill things that I want to kill?
The guards arranged for a psychologist to help him cope. They believed that as long as Bart was gone, Bob's hatred would finally disappear. So they made Bob cut Bart's picture out, hoping he would let go of his obsession. Meanwhile,
Don't listen to them, Bob. I'm alive.
Are you okay there, Bob?
I won't believe he's dead until I've made soup from his bones. Ah!
Why do I keep giving them scissors?
Bart found a phone and called Maggie. When Maggie learned that Bart was still alive, she was overjoyed. Unfortunately, the old phone quickly burned out. Just as Milhouse was about to leave, Sideshow Bob suddenly grabbed him. After hearing from Milhouse that Bart was still alive, Bob forced him to lead the way to Bart. Then he followed him down the shaft. Sideshow Bob successfully found Bart. He tied Bart and Milhouse to the missile. Bob inserted the keys into the launch system, but nothing happened.
Bob, it takes 2 keys. That way, no nutcase can do it by himself.
Using both his hands and feet, Bob turned both keys at the same time. The next second, the missile activated. A 5-minute countdown to launch began. Abe and Homer were still searching for Bart. They happened to hear the roar of the missile preparing to launch. In an instant, the missile shot straight into the sky. But in the end, Sideshow Bob's conscience finally took over. He personally rescued Bart and Milhouse.